Alright, you do what you gotta do. Mike Soviero, everybody!
So I was probably 13 or 14 years old at the time, and it was one of those hot, like freakishly weird falls. I think they call them Indian summers. And I was living in New Jersey. And I was in my room held up with a bottle of bleach in one hand and a rag in the other cleaning, because that is something that I liked to do when I was a kid, was to clean. And also, I didn't have a lot of friends. So I'm cleaning, and it was really, really hot, and the heat got very unbearable, so I stripped down to my boxers. And it was either that or grab the only fan that we had in our house, which was this little white box fan that my dad kept by the side of his bed. But if I was to take that, it came with consequences. A beating, or a lecture about why I shouldn't have taken this fan because we didn't have money to afford to use the fan, even though he slept with this fan every night on him, and it was cool. Exactly. So I'm cleaning and whatnot, and the one thing that I did have though as a kid were my G.I. Joes, and I loved them. Hawk, Snake Eyes, Sergeant Slaughter. I had a ton. I used to set them up, battle ready. And then in my mind, I would play out the scenarios that would happen. Well, I'm cleaning and setting up Joes. And my room faced the backyard. And I noticed that my brother was out there, my brother Nick, who was 2 years older than me, and he was like my Cobra commander to my G.I. Joes at this time in my life, my sworn enemy, because all he did was pick on me and beat me up. And see, Nick, you know, he must have noticed I was back there, because the next thing I knew, a blast of water came through because he was playing with the garden hose into my freshly clean room that I'd spent a lot of time putting things in their place, because everything belongs in its place. So I yell out to Nick, I say, "Hey Nick, cut it out." And he says, "You look hot, Plumpy." Just helping you out. Plumpy was a nickname that my brother had for me. It was one of the many that he did have for me. And I hated it. I hated Plumpy. Plumpy was the worst nickname. So I did the only thing I could think of doing, and I called my brother close to the window, and I said, "Nick, come here." And he came close, and I said, come closer." And he came closer, and I said, no, really close. And go like this. And he did, and I sprayed him in the face with bleach cleaner.
All right. And now you know. And now you know. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. You know. And now you know. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. You know. And now you know. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. You know. And now you know. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. So, who opens their mouth when they're told to open their mouth? Well, my brother did. And now he was screaming and crying and yelling. And I guess my dad must have just pulled up, because he comes running into the backyard and he's like, "What the hell is going on here?"
And my brother said, well, Michael sprayed you in the face with bleach. Oh, now I'm Michael. A little bleach to the face. And my name is Michael. No longer pumpy, fat shit, super Nicholas Wonder. No, I get Michael. Well, my dad comes to the window and he goes, well, what did you do? Why did you spray him? And I look at him and all I can think of is about this one night. They were watching Forrest Gump, my brother and my dad, and they called me into the room. My dad goes, Michael, say life is like a box of chocolates. And I did. And he goes, I told you, Nick, he's as retarded as this guy. So I sprayed him in the face with bleach cleaner.
You figured it there the first time. That's Alex Gallafent on the fucking trumpet. And now you know. And now you know. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle, you know. And now you know. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle, you know. And now you know. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle, you know. And now you know. And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Trumpet solo.
My brother, he didn't fall to the ground and scream and cry. He looked me in the eyes, and when our eyes met, I knew I was dead. And my dad was not afraid to give me a good beating. So I did the only thing I could do, run. Out the front door and down the block. My grandmother lived about 2 blocks away. So I figured she would help me. She was this little Italian lady, straight off the boat, and when we used to go over to visit, she would give us strawberry candies and bran muffins. So she was going to protect me. So I'm screaming and running down the streets of New Jersey with my boxers on. My preteen penis is popping out of the slit in the front as I'm running. I turn around and notice that my father and my brother are pretty close to me, but a distance away. I go blasting into my grandmother's house. She, at the stove, like she always was, turns around and realizes that a lunatic had just come flying into her house and starts hitting me with her gravy spoon. And she's beating me, and beating me, and beating me, and after a couple whacks, she realizes that it was her grandson, the lunatic that came blasting into her room, and continued to hit me because she was like, you should never scare an old lady at this time. And she's hitting me, and she broke that wooden gravy spoon. And my brother and my father arrived, and they were ready to give me the biggest beating of my life, but they saw I was already getting that beating. And they realized it's okay, and they left. And when they did leave, it was whatever, and I'm laying on the ground, crying. And my grandmother, she says to me, oh, Michael, why are you coming into my room like that? You busted in the house and you scared me. Hey, I think you wanted a rapist from the Cast show. She loved the show Cast. And I left. It took me a while
while to get myself together and chat. And I went home and there was no one there. I went to my room and there was mud and water everywhere and my room was destroyed. So I went into my father's room and I took that white box fan and I brought it into my room and I put the fucking thing in. And I started cleaning and I had the biggest fucking smile on my face at 14 years old. Because you know why? Because I knew one day my brother was going to get me back for spraying. And I knew my father was going to get me back for spraying him and taking the box fan. But I also knew that at the back of their fucking heads, they knew that their son and their brother was going to spray him in the face with bleach cleaner.
That's Mark Soviero. You can sing along. And now you know. And now you know. And now you know. And now it's half the battle, you know. And now you know. And now you know. And now it's half the battle, you know. BTK Band is here tonight. BTK will rock your fucking face. BTK Band is here tonight. BTK will rock your fucking face. BTK Band here tonight. BTK will rock your fucking face. BTK Band here tonight. BTK will rock your fucking face. BTK will. BTK